Hello, welcome. Sammy here, and I'm so excited and happy to be with you tonight during our tarot astrology reading. So if you haven't been here yet before, we are going to start by playing the sound on the sound bowl and taking some nice deep meditative breaths together. And then I will talk a bit about what is happening in the stars, and then is in the magic bag. We will pull 3 tarot cards. 3 cards to tap into your energy and anyone who's watching this, and to help us align with the energies happening in the sky and right here on Earth right now. Okay, so if you find a nice comfortable spot, let's take a few deep breaths together. That felt great. I don't know if you caught me kind of yawning in the middle of that deep breath there. I think it's funny because I was on my Instagram feed. There's an amazing horoscope that I like to follow, and I'll put a link to it. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's for Geminis, and it was about how, Mercury going retrograde, as it just did today, something that everybody feels, but for people whose signs are ruled by Mercury, like Gemini and Virgo, who are governed by that planet, it might be a bit of a sleepier day for us because we're kind of like if you're getting up from bed and then you just kind of fall back down for another little nap. So I thought it was funny because I was like, yeah, I felt a little bit of that today, but I don't know. Have you felt that? I'm curious if people with other signs have felt maybe energized or not too much of a difference, or what you might be experiencing. But yes, Mercury is retrograde, and it's very interesting because Mercury was in Libra, moved into Scorpio, and will be moving back into Libra. And by the time it goes direct again, it ends its retrograde on November 3rd. So if that date rings a bell for you, there's just a little something happening right around then with our country here in the US. But before that happens, so Mercury will be spending a little bit more time in Scorpio, going into Libra on the 20th. Going into Libra again on the 27th. And so it's interesting because having Mercury in Libra when it was there, it was a time of being able to express deep truths about things like justice, and caring a lot about balance, and caring a lot about communicating and sharing ideas and talking. And so there was a lot of opportunity for that to be happening. And then going into Scorpio and communicating being maybe less about the conversational aspect and seeking balance, and more about like deeper transformations, maybe a little bit less social and outgoing, but a little bit more intense and transformative. And then to be going from there back into Libra, having gone through whatever deep experiences we might have recently gone through, and then to be able to again speak about it and connect with people and share openly about it once it's back in Libra, I think will be a really enriching experience and an opportunity to share what we might have learned during that more introspective and quiet and deep and emotional time of Mercury being in Scorpio. So by the time it moves out on the 27th or so, when it crosses back into Libra, so that will be a very interesting chance. We'll be able to share about the things that we've learned and articulate them in that when it's in Libra, hopefully for greater and greater balance in our relationships. And also, as Mercury is backing up, it's gonna cross paths with the Sun on its late on September 24th and into October 24th, and then into October 25th. The Sun and Mercury will be completely aligned in Scorpio. So that will be a time where it'll be maybe easier to say what we need to say, and just to feel really aligned with our message, and a lot of ease and energy in sharing our message and sharing what's important to us with others. So having, at the same time, it will be opposite Neptune it'll be opposite Uranus in Taurus. And so Uranus is about individuality, and Taurus is a fixed sign. So having those things there, it's kind of like the Sun and Mercury together in Scorpio is kind of like expressing from the depths with a lot of ease. And then the fact that they're opposite Uranus and Taurus, it might bring a slight potential for there to be tension that comes from being too much fixed in our personal identity. And so it could be a great opportunity to be like, okay, now is on the 25th of October, a really great time to share and to speak my truth. And if there's any tension around it, to say, is it because I have too fixed an idea of who I am? And maybe could be a little more open to something different, and something with more harmony. So that's coming up. And then just in the next day or so, right now it is Tuesday evening around 9 Eastern time. And by the time we get to Wednesday evening, so the moon is right now in Virgo, and so is Venus. Venus is in Virgo. What's going to happen is, as they keep moving forward, they're going to come into a position of being in a trine with Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto in Capricorn. And each of them are going to have their own 3 trines with those planets. So there's like 6 trines happening by tomorrow. And that is just like a lot of easiness, a lot of relaxation, a lot of flow, and things just kind of like coming easily. So if there's anything that was sort of touchy, or especially on the first day of moving into a Mercury retrograde, there might be little things that have come up that felt a little bit uncomfortable, maybe, or maybe not. But anything that had sort of an edge to it, by the time we get to this time tomorrow, there's going to be so many of those harmonious trines happening that it's going to put this like soft, gentle, and like a calm but energetic oomph into the ways that we love and the ways that we have emotion, because it's Venus and the moon doing that. So it's going to be a really nice couple of days, and we're a few days away from the new moon. That's always great, a great opportunity to start things fresh, and to imagine what we want to create, and to believe in beautiful possibilities, and to start to do things to get closer to those. So that's a bit about the sky to today. And with that, why don't we pull a few cards? Okay. Let's see, here's the net. Oh, and I made, if you're seeing this on Instagram, you can message me. Battery mode, sorry. If you're seeing this somewhere else, or if you're more comfortable communicating with email, I made a new email for readings, and it is Sami Readings, SAMI Readings, at gmail.com, and you can message me there if you have any questions, if you want like a birth chart or an in-depth reading that I could either send to you, or we could do a Skype or something. So please feel free to reach out to me there. Okay, so I'm gonna shuffle and we can take a few breaths together. Okay, time to cut the deck. 1, 2, 3. And maybe this reading we can dedicate 3 cards to. Maybe this upcoming Mercury Retrograde, to, what else were we? To the new moon, and to Mercury, maybe like, okay, so Mercury Retrograde, the new moon, and then something to do with October 25th, because that's going to be a big day when Mercury and the Sun are together briefly before Mercury starts going the other direction. Okay. 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Our first card. The 4 of Pentacles. A very frequent visitor. If you've been on here the last couple of weeks, we've seen this card a few times, and there's lots of different things that I've been seeing in it, but one that was a nice perspective on this card that I hadn't heard before was this person's holding this pentacle in their lap, and it's kind of like almost like holding a baby. So there is that element of life and abundance happening close to the heart, and then life and abundance happening close to the mind and to the feet. So there's this like full body connection to the earth and to material abundance and to having everything you need, to comfort and stability and security and brightness. And then at the same time, there's something very fixed and in place about this card, the 4 of Pentacles. And so there's also the message that you have plenty, and there's also so much further to go. And so it's a card that says like to allow there to be a flow in and out. So maybe like, let's say you're considering investing in something, or there's a purchase that you aren't sure if you should do or not, because maybe you want to hold on to your pentacles. It could be a good sign of saying, you know, let it flow, keep it moving. You have what you need, and change is good. So let the abundance flow in and let it flow out, and flow in and flow out. Because there's a lot more life that could be happening than is, even though what's happening is great. And that's maybe something to think about in this Mercury retrograde. It's like, okay, as we move our way towards Libra again, letting go of things that are anything related to fear or scarcity, and just taking some more risks. Okay. Second card. The Star. Such a beautiful card, isn't it? And I think this is a really fantastic card for us to have. Well, because we were talking about Mercury in retrograde, yeah, so that was about this. And then this, the new moon, and the new moon is happening in Libra. And here you have somebody who's got these 2 jugs of water that are flowing. And it's kind of magical because it looks like they could be pouring into these waters, this river and this big body of water, but it's also drawn in a way that the flow could be going up into the containers as well. There's like that magical quality to it. And the star is a time of, it's interesting because the new moon is a time when the sky is very dark, but we can see the stars a little more brightly. So sometimes when one thing that we're used to having as a source of energy or clarity is a little less available, then we can dig deeper and find other sources of strength and let our inner brightness light the way. Like, say, for example, if there's a certain person in your life who you aren't, in the most harmonious place with, maybe that darkness or that distance will allow for this brightness to come up within you that will allow for greater harmony going forward. So during the new moon, I think it will be great to think of the ways that you are bright and have that brightness within you. And it's all about flow and balance because it is in Libra. So keeping things flowing. Okay. And our third card tonight, let's see. The King of Swords. So the King of Swords is the master of communication, and there's a beautiful engraving on the throne of the moon, of butterflies, and then in the background there's birds and a blue sky and these big fluffy clouds. And we said that this position would have to do with what's happening on October 25th when Mercury and the Sun are together. And since Mercury is about communication and the swords are about thought and communication, and then also this is the King card, so it's about confidence and skill and stability. And the Sun is also very much like that. The Sun brings confidence and energy and power. I think that it means this kind of energy will be available to all of us. So as we move through the new moon in a few days on the 16th, we will have about 10 days between the new moon and then the Sun and Mercury being aligned in Scorpio, where we can continue to feel strength and power and confidence in communicating our truths from the deep part of ourselves. And I think that has to do with sharing your thoughts and being direct, and also embracing beauty in the process, because we have that butterfly, and butterflies remind us of change and how beautiful change can be, and how beauty and balance can help bring about change, because Libra, the sun in Libra, is all about beauty and balance, and then we move into Scorpio, which is about deepness and change. And so if you look at it in order, the only way we can really get to that deep change and that deep transformation is by continually focusing on being in a balanced place and holding a vision for a life that is beautiful. And to me, when I think of beauty, that really means love, and because love is what makes everything beautiful. So if you look at these 3 cards together, there is a lot of stability, balance, and flow. And I think that that's something that we're going to feel more and more and more of over not just the next 24 hours as we reach those trines that we talked about with Venus and the moon, but in a few days when we move into our new moon, and then all the way through this whole Mercury retrograde, which I think is just going to help us sharpen the swords of our words and use them wisely for greater harmony and love and beauty and balance and depth. So there you have that. And from there, why don't we not? Oh no! Oh no! It's like an elevator falling. I don't know why. Okay. Still here. Let's play a sound together. Take a few breaths, and then we will say goodnight. Thank you for being here. I wish you a night full of gentleness and happiness and rest. Until tomorrow.